welcome everybody. I will not tell anything about myself because Nigel has already introduced myself. Today we will be talking about some Kanban, value validation, coffee, and great Linda Rising this morning started talking about coffee and suppose the effects of coffee. I'm just telling you something which is sure, which is I want to demystify the fact that us, we Italians, are obsessed with coffee. We are not, okay? Right, okay. Yeah. Okay, so let's go on. And, okay, how many times have you been asked this question? Or you have asked this question? When will it be done? When will it be finished? When will it be ready? Second question, what does it mean done, finished, ready? And it usually depends on, of course, the product that you are working on. You can have different, characteristics of your products. But in general, done is a shared understanding of the quality measures that your product is supposed to have. For example, if you are using Scrum, definition of done, okay, it's called a checklist sometimes, no, of what we expect to have in our product. Okay, great. So we have a product, we know what is done, what does it mean finished. So we're ready to start to work on our product. And for example, we can use some kind of strategy or framework. I will use today Kanban, but it could be whatever framework that you are using. It's just for simplicity. Kanban is a strategy for optimizing the flow of value across the process of product development. Or better, is the movement of potential value, sorry, because we don't know if it's actual value until it comes into the customer's hand. So it's just an hypothesis. Great, and this is a Kanban board. How many of you have used in your life, Kanban board? Almost everybody, I think, your Godzilla Jira application, as Nigel said before, or maybe you have a physical one in your office. It's not just the board. There are a lot of things, and especially there are 3 practices which are the bedrock of the strategy, which allows us as a team to track if something is going wrong in our flow, some product backlog item, user story, whatever you use, is blocked somewhere. And we have some metrics, some measures that tell us if something is going wrong or if everything is flowing correctly. So it's a tool, it's a strategy, it's not just the board. Okay, and when we get to the last column, which is this one, no? This one of the Kanban board, these are some states. Maybe you have different states in your Kanban board, but anyway, usually the last state is deployed, finished, done, okay? What happens that the master chef effect kicks in. So the team lift their hand to the air, done, finished, which is something like finished here, now it's your business, no? Which is maybe not that polite, but anyway, that's it. And this is when the team maybe starts to work on something new. Sometimes ignoring what's happening after. So maybe that we have cooked a very nice dish of spaghetti with nice sauce, very, good, delicious. Or maybe that it tastes like hell and it flies in the air. But sometimes as a team, we don't know that. We ignore that. And we behave like a feature machine, which means our objective is to crank out as many features as possible. We have frameworks, we have strategies, so we are able to do that very efficiently, very effectively, and we are also very predictable on that. But the thing is, are we solving our customer's problem? And is it the right problem? Because sometimes we create incredible features to resolve problems that are not problems. So people don't want a razor. Your customer don't want a razor. They want to get rid of hair in different parts of their body. So the thing is thinking about the right problem and solving the problem in a way that is not just done, is not just finished, but it's usable and useful. That means it brings some value to our customer. Okay, now let's go back to our Kanban board and see if there is something missing, something that we can add. For example, a validation step, a validation phase, where we can validate if what we have created is valuable, use the data to feed the next discovery step, and make the best choice on what to do next on your product. And let's have a higher perspective about that, and let's talk a little bit about goals. And maybe that today you are working your teams through iterations like these ones, and at every iteration you have goals. You have sprint goals if you are using Scrum, for example. And hopefully you also have long-term goals like product goals, again, which are more intermediate goals, okay? And all the way up to the product vision, to the strategic goals for the product and for the organization. And the thing is, how can we evaluate, assess if we have a progress toward those goals? And the thing is that we need data. We need to leverage data. Just sniffing around is not enough. The risk is too high. And another thing that we could do is use for every step, for every iteration, more an empirical approach, which is crafting hypotheses, measuring the outcome, inspecting and adapting. But we will talk about that a little bit more later. Okay. And now this is the main topic for today, which is evidence-based management. So that was the situation. This is one of the solutions that you can have. This is a framework. It's free to use. You have the link over there. And you have a book if you want to go a little bit deeper on into this topic. And what is evidence-based management about? It's about enabling organizations and teams to make informed decisions, to make informed choices based on actual data. And how? Using different key value areas, which are these 4 value areas. 2 are more market-oriented, like current value and realized value, and 2 are more organization-bound, like ability to innovate and time to market. As for the current value, what is the value that we are delivering today? Like customer satisfaction, employee satisfaction, because if we have engaged, motivated employees, our product will be better. Okay, so the current value. The unrealized value, so what is that? Our product today doesn't have, but our customers are looking for. Unrealized value. Potential market share, for example. The ability to innovate. So how effective we are as an organization, as a team, at improving our product, the value of our product. So we have innovation rate, which is the percentage of time that we spend on new features compared to the time that we spend on the whole product. Time to market. So how efficient we are in delivering value, like release frequency, lead time, are some of the most popular metrics that we can use. So I have an example for you today, just underneath this cover, and it's about coffee. Okay, sorry about. Okay, so an example for the 4 key value areas. What do we have today as an organization? Our product today is instant coffee. Okay, so what we need to do is just to put some powder, and it's ready. We don't know how long does it take to brew it, but here we have a timer, so we can now see what's the time to market that we have. Okay, that's right. Maybe 3 spoons are enough. Maybe. Oh. Okay. I don't know what happened with the timer, maybe. Okay. And so we just, stir a little bit. And I think it's, I think almost ready. Okay. So this is our current value. So instant coffee, caffeine provided through this water and powder in 25 seconds, time to market. This is what we have today. And maybe that we ignore that our customers, what they really want is maybe an Italian espresso served over on a nice, cup, made with a fresh, fresh blend of ground coffee like this one. And we don't know. Sometimes we don't know. This is the unrealized value. And sometimes we also ignore that we can actually improve our product. So we have an ability to innovate that we don't measure, that we don't sometimes understand, which could be, for example, adding some whipped cream on your coffee, which I love, and maybe some powder, some cinnamon powder, maybe, yeah. No? This is your ability to innovate that sometimes we don't measure. I love ability to innovate. Okay, so I hope, does it make sense? Is it okay? So let's go ahead. And let's go back again to our Kanban board. So we have this validation step that we have already talked about, that we can split in 2 different states. This is an example. You can do, of course, what works best in your situation. Like this one, so collecting feedback, elaborative feedback, where we focus on the 4 key value areas in order to collect data. And this is when my piece of advice, something that worked for me, is to think about your iteration, not just a standard development effort, but to think it about an experiment. So we craft an hypothesis of value. We experiment and measure through the metrics that we have identified. We inspect the outcome. And after that, we use those data to adapt and to make the best choice on the product and to start a new hypothesis, because that choice could be valuable, could be not. Again, is another hypothesis, refined one, based on data. Okay, I just wanted to put some meat around the bone, so I have a story for you to tell, which is about coffee. Sorry, but okay. So this is about, this is a real Scrum team I worked with, working on a B2B application. The app connects the coffee machine service technicians or cafe owners in order to obtain spare parts for the coffee machines. Okay, so those are the customers, and this is the objective, the purpose of the application. The application provides real-time inventory, diagnostic assistance, and we have same-day delivery for the spare parts. What happened one day during the development of this product, which was already in production, is that the product owner entered the office where the team was working and said, we have a problem. We have a big problem. We have a lot of canceled orders, and we need to return items at our expense because people are choosing the wrong spare part. And this is not just a problem of money, I mean of paying the return, but customers are starting to abandon the product. So we have a huge problem because the product life is in danger. The thing is that as a team, we put in production some features that we thought were helping, like interactive technical schemas like this one. You just had to click once you had chosen the machine, just to click on the part and it went on the shopping cart. Or we had an internal search engine that we thought was even more than enough. But we never validated those functions. We thought for us were useful, not for the final user. So as a team, we tried as a solution the evidence-based management with Kanban, so adding feedback states at the end of the stream of the Kanban process. And we did two main things. First, we started to collect metrics on the whole product. So metrics that were collected frequently and consistently, and these are some examples. And they were collected on the 4 key value areas. So we have some example like the monthly active users, like as a current value, market penetration for the unrealized value, time to market, we had lead time, customer feedback loop, time to onboard new customers, for the ability to innovate, the innovation rate. Okay, so this gave us overall perspective on the value of the product in its entirety. And we did a second thing, which was collect metrics for specific product backlog items, for specific features, for specific functionalities. And what we did during the refinement session was asking ourselves, does this PBI, does this new feature need feedback states? If it is customer facing, or if it is a testing hypothesis, or if it is a new capability, yes. The PBI definitely needs feedback states. So we need to collect data to validate value. If it's just a not functional item that we have in our product backlog, and we don't need to create an overhead of metrics, we just use the standard flow. Okay. And if the feature, the PBI needs feedback states, this is a very important step, is identify the right metrics. The metrics that are actually meaningful. And in this case, sorry, but there is no one size fits all. It usually depends on your product. It usually depends on the specific functionality that you wanted to collect data for. Okay, an example. So in order to address that problem of identifying the spare parts, the team crafted an hypothesis. So use augmented reality to improve the parts identification. So basically, they enabled the technicians, the cafe owners, to use their camera on the smartphone. They just had to open the machine and point it toward the required spare part. And the application, knowing the model of the machine, could identify the right spare part. This was basically the hypothesis, acceptance criteria, and so on. Does this feature require feedback states, in your opinion? Yes, definitely. Okay. So what we did is to try to find different metrics for the 4 key value areas in order to have a complete perspective around the value of this feature. So what, as for the current value, what is the immediate value that augmented reality can deliver? For example, part identification accuracy, time savings per service call, and so on. I'm not going through all of them. As for the unrealized value, so what opportunities does this functionality reveal? So unsupported model requests, additional feature requests. So we created an in-app functionality to let the users make suggestions for new features, new functionalities. Current experience scores. Time to market. So how quickly can we iterate and improve this functionality? So bug fix deployment, and these are data focused on this specific feature, not on the whole product, okay? Learning speed, ability to innovate. So how effectively can we improve AR, so this functionality? For example, tracking technical debt in the AR module, automated testing coverage for those of you working on software products. You know what I'm talking about, so percentage of automated tests and so on. And so this is what we measured. Once we collected the metrics, we started to inspect them and try to make choices. As for the current value, the team discovered that technicians who started to use the new feature completed all the orders way faster than before, like 3 times. Okay, and there were fewer returns. Once we understood and got to know that, we as a team decided to prioritize augmented reality capabilities, especially for complex assemblies, because we understood that it worked fine. As for the unrealized value, so what opportunities can we discover with that, with this functionality? We figured out that 43% of abandoned shopping carts were due to missing compatibility information. So basically, we needed, and this is what we did in our adaptation, to add an explicit and complete list of compatible machine models with respect to that specific spare part. This is another thing that we learned. For the time to market, we learned that it took too long to gather feedback from the users. So basically, as an adaptation, the team decided to implement an in-app beta program for a small amount of users, which was easier to manage. They received the new feature very quickly, and they knew that there could be something that would not work, but anyway, they had some advantages, and they reduced the learning cycle from 21 to 6 days, so it was effective. Ability to innovate. What did AR reveal in this case? That what worked for different products, previous products, like creating different versions on Android and iOS of the application, was not that good, especially efficient, especially for this feature. And the nice thing that came out with this metrics is that they decided to have an impact on the whole product. So to make the choice of choosing, of experimenting a cross-platform development framework, which in the end proved to be effective, because the innovation rate moved from almost double, no? From 20 to 38%. So some takeaways about the whole thing. Kanban or whatever framework strategy you're using are great in improving flow and organizing the work of your team. Anyway, the thing is not just how many things we are realizing, how many things we are crafting, how many things we are cranking out, but the value that we are providing. EBM, which I've shown today, is one of the choices that you have to validate your work. But anyway, my piece of advice, try to do whatever you can in order to validate value and be lean, so spare time. EBM combined with frameworks like Scrum, like Kanban, I think are great because they can help you to track these activities in a very effective way. Okay, so the combination of the two, I think, are great. This is one piece of experience that I had. And finished, I'm done. If you have some questions.